All right, so we are moving on to day 2 of explicit formulas, and your learning goals for this lesson are, again, write an explicit formula given a recursive rule, and I can write an explicit formula given information in a real-world context and apply the formula to project a future answer. All right, so again, explicit versus recursive. We've got a sub n equals a sub 1, where r is the common ratio to the n minus 1. All right, that's explicit. Recursive looks like a sub n equals a to the sub n minus, a sub n minus 1 times r. So similar but not the same. Just so you know, like where the parts are similar. So we start off with the a sub n. We have our first term, which isn't present here because usually we just say a sub 1 is, and then whatever it is. And then you have r, which appears at the end right there, and this n minus 1 is instead there. All right, so with a recursive rule, you must know the term prior to it in order to solve. So that's kind of the difference. First example, we're given the following recursive rule for a geometric sequence. We have a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 times 3, and then the third term in the sequence is the third term, a sub 3, so that's the same thing. This and this both mean the same thing. It's the third term, and the value of that term is 243, and we need to write an explicit formula from that. So we take a look at our explicit formula here, and we're going to plug in what we know. Okay, we know that a sub 3 is 243. So notice, let me go back here. So we're basically saying, okay, this isn't going to be a sub n anymore. We're replacing n with 3. Okay, so that's going to change up there too. So this is our third term. This is our n right there. So we replace n with this, the 3, because it's a third term again. Let me get rid of that. So we make that 243 equals, okay, the first term we don't know. What we do know is that the common ratio is right here. So this is r. So we're going to put in 3 there. And then n, again, we said is 3, so that's going to be 3 minus 1, which of course is 2. So this is what we're left with. 243 equals a sub 1 times 3 squared. So we just basically, we're solving for a sub 1. Remember, this is all being multiplied together. So 3 squared is 9. So we have a sub 1 times 9 equals 243. All we have to do is find a sub 1 by itself. So we divide both sides by 9, which gives us 27. So now we know our a sub 1, so we can go ahead and say, because remember our formula is a sub n equals a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1. So we already knew our ratio, common ratio was 3. The only thing we needed to find was a sub 1, which we did right here. So that's why we do that. This is our answer right up here. Next example. The number of subscribers to Loot Crate triples every month. When Loot Crate began, it had 640 subscribers. We need to determine the explicit rule that will allow you to project the number of subscribers and then calculate the number of subscribers after 1 year. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through and replace what we know. We know that it started with 640 subscribers. We know that it triples every month. Okay, so that's why we're multiplying by 3. All right, and now we need to calculate the number of subscribers after 1 year. But first, let's just make sure we got this right. So we need to determine the explicit rule. So that's one thing we're being asked to do. Determine the explicit rule. So you must have this down. That's the explicit rule right there. So that answers that. Next, we need to calculate the number of subscribers after 1 year. Well, remember, n is the number of months. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace that n with 12. So a sub n equals 640 times 3, and this is now 12 minus 1, which is 11. Okay, 3 to the 11th power times 640 will give you 113,374,080 subscribers. So that's your answer for that. Yes, that seems a bit excessive, and is that true? No. I highly doubt Loot Crate is tripling their subscribers every month, but that's how you do it. So we're finding the explicit formula in both these cases, and in this case we are applying that to find a future number. We will spend some time going through this to make sure that you understand this, but the long and short of it is we have this formula, and there's only so many things that we're actually asking you to find. Okay, n, you might be asked to find. There's a sub 1, so there's really only 3 things that you have to be able to identify: n, r, and a sub 1. You're going to be missing, at least one of those, and you're going to use the rest of it to help you find that. It's pretty much as simple as that. I will, again, go through this with you to make sure that you understand it. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. You guys have a lovely evening. Take care.